welcome to Hey Feed. Today might be a bit controversial. So I'm answering a question. Do I prefer A.B.A, applied behavior analysis, play therapy, or should they wait till they go to school for their teachers to suggest them getting assessed? So my theory is that that's two separate things. A.B.A and play therapy, and should you wait to get assessed? Should you wait to get assessed? Right, no. That's my theory. No. Early intervention is key. If you think that there's something maybe wrong or going up, or like your kid's learning differently and something's not quite right, you're usually right. Use your mother gut. Your mother instinct is usually right. So go with that. I know family members and other people are going to be like, there's nothing wrong. Boys learn later or girls learn differently, or my son had an anger problem too. And it's like, no, if transitions from like small transitions are like a meltdown, or like things are big, like do it. Just trust your mother instinct. We had one son diagnosed super early because he just stopped talking, stopped playing and things like that. So very obviously something was going on. But our other son, very high functional, is great, very emotional. We were just told he was like a sensitive kid with a bit of anxiety. He wasn't assessed until later. And we felt really bad because intervention, like early intervention, is super key. But sometimes you just don't see it. Because we had the example of severe autism versus high functional. So we were just like, we didn't see it. And that's sad, but now we have, and we've got the intervention and the tools. But if you figure something's wrong, don't wait. The school's going to wait till they're like in grade 3 and the kid's being an a-hole. And it's not his fault that he's being like that. He's just so frustrated that he needs to learn differently and no one's listening. And he is like, or she is like, why are these other kids getting it and I'm not getting it? So they act out in bad behavior. Not their fault. Yet again, not their fault. They learn differently. So let's talk A.B.A. A.B.A got a bad, super bad rep back in the day. And adults now who did A.B.A as kids are coming down traumatized because they had to sit at the table. Sit at a table. Repeat, 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 repeat. We don't sit at the table. It depends on you. So you are the person that's hiring your A.B.A therapist. So if they're going to be like strict, you're not going to go with them, right? You choose. And then we said, okay, so River's young. So can we add some play therapy into that? And they were like, of course. And we're like, what is your thoughts on stimming? And they were like, oh, that's such a cute stim. He jumps up and down and flaps his arms when he's excited. Yep. So they took breaks and said, River, do you need a break now to jump up and down? Because we had a trampoline. So he would go and take breaks when he needed to take breaks. So A.B.A therapy's evolved. So it did have a bad rep, but now they're amazing. And you choose. You go, you're an adult. You're hiring those A.B.A therapists to do what they are professional at, but you get to choice, like, does this fit with my family? Does this fit with my child? So River was super stubborn. So we needed someone that was like super strict, but also when he did his job was super playful. And that's what we got. And you can't, A.B.A therapy is not to make them normal. It's to make them be the best of themselves, help them with their social skills, improve their social skills and their interactions, their communication. So we did two things that stick out in my mind when River was really young was he couldn't talk, and we were like, if he could say please or thank you or open or what does he want? So they put his favourite toy in a Ziploc bag that you had to pinch and slide, and he couldn't do that. And he was so frustrated with that bag, and he wanted it open. And they were like, oh, do you want it open? And they're really calm. Do you want it open? So they're doing sign language and saying it. And he was so mad. He was angry. He threw things. He ran about. It was like awful to watch. But then he came back. Like, this is like, it took 2 lessons. And then they're like, oh, do you want this open? And he goes, copied her. And we're like, yes. So he was signing open. He didn't say it. And then she goes, so open. And he goes, open. And we were like, oh my God, he said a word. Freaking amazing. And then the other one was cars. She had a blue car and I think a green car, and they wanted to put it down this ramp, and he loved it because it just made this sound and it went down this ramp. She goes, oh, I think I'm going to use the blue one. Which car do you want? The green car or the blue car? And he keeps on putting his hand on it and slapping it, and then she picked it up and kept to herself. And she goes, which one do you want, the blue car or the green car? And he said car. And he said, even though he didn't say green car, she still gave it to him because he said car, and he got to do it. And he got down to the end, so she let him do it, and then she grabbed it back. And she goes, which car do you want now, the blue car or the green car? And he said blue. So he was starting to use these words, but she kept things from him, and then the reward was playing with it, and then he might get a token, and once he'd finished all these tokens, he got to go, like, use his iPad or something like that. It was great. And I know there's a lot of adult people that went through A.B.A. now as kids, and it was horrible and traumatic, but it's evolved. It's not like that now. They don't have to sit at a table and just repeat, and no play, no nothing. It's far more than that. They do repeat to get it in there, but they don't repeat without a break or play or, so do both if you've got a little kid. That's my thing. And try and get all the therapies you can while the kid's young. Occupational therapy, speech therapy here in BC is free under 6, I think it is. But then as soon as you hit school, if they go to a public school, occupational speech, they only come once a month. There's not enough occupational people and speech people in the school district. It sucks balls. Inclusivity is like out the door, like it is here, like, and everywhere else. You need at least 30 to 40 hours of therapy, as much as you can for your kid before they hit school age. And when they're school, you do need like 6 hours of different therapies. That's in school, but they, like, throughout the school week, and they can't provide that. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not the school's fault. It's just in the whole education department. They don't think it's necessary. Anyway, that's my thought. Early intervention's key. A.B.A. versus play therapy. Do both. It's up to you. You can decide. Find an A.B.A. therapist that does both. So don't choose one that doesn't. Choose one that's open-minded and does both. And if your kid's stubborn, it's going to take a while. So you need to be like, stick with it. Don't let them get away with a lot of things, right? With little River here, he gets away with a lot. So we started using it and not letting him get away with a lot. And now what happens? We get things done? Yes? Yeah. Say hello.
Hi.
River, can you say hello?
Hello.
Hello. And you want to say hello?
Hi.
So hope I answered your question. Until next time, we spin. Until next time, have a good weekend. To be like, stick with it. Don't
Subscribe.
a lot of things.
Subscribe.
Right?